What we're looking at today is we're going to be covering the replacement of a CHOREOSWITCH solenoid using the SWS 100 A700 series replacement kits. What tools you're going to need for the replacement kit is you'll need a selection of screwdrivers and a couple wrenches. The screwdrivers you'll need a medium flathead and a number 2 Phillips screwdriver. For replacing the cord seal on the 3-wire conductor non-DMX cables, you'll need a 13/16 wrench. And for the larger 5-wire cable, using this plastic cord seal, you need a 1 1/16 wrench. It's easy just to use an adjustable. On the standard non-DMX solenoid, what we'll need to do first to get this off is remove the snorkel. The snorkel actually comes off very simply. On different models, you may have different nozzles or adapters right here. Don't worry, you don't need to change anything. This snorkel cap actually screws off. It's just a little thread in there, and you can just slide it out of this tube here and just push this off to the side. Now you don't need to worry about it. Now this here, using a small wrench, preferably an adjustable, you can just get it started. It's a plastic thread, it comes out easily. Just spin this off and lay this off to the side for later. Next thing you need to do is take off the stainless steel bracket here. This is where you'll want the flathead screwdriver. You can use a cordless drill if you have one. Gather up your fasteners so you don't lose them. Take off the bracket. Now you're ready to use the Phillips head screwdriver. And just screw out the 4 screws holding on the manifold. There we go. Now we can just take off the manifold and you're good to go. Now collect up the fasteners. Now one thing that I'd like to show is that it's very important is to make sure that these cavities, on the new one, aren't blocked. Same thing down here on the body itself. You want to make sure that these 2 openings, there's no debris, there's no bits and pieces from the pool environment that have gotten in here and lodged, because that'll keep the CHOREOSWITCH from switching. So take this opportunity while you have it out of the pool, clean it out if needed. On the new solenoid head, you'll see that there's 2 O-rings right here. Make sure that they're there. If they're not here, you won't get a good seal on this and the Choreo won't switch. So make sure that there's 2 O-rings here. You see, just like that. They do fit reasonably snug, so they might not actually come out during shipping. But if one's missing, check your packaging, make sure it hasn't been lost. What you can do is that just sit it back onto the body. There are alignment pins to make sure it goes into the right spot. Slide in the 4 Phillips screws. Grab your screwdriver and just tighten it down. Now it doesn't have to be very tight. This is just plastic. So I recommend follow your standard tightening rotation where you go around the different corners. Get it down so it's snug, and then tighten up once everything is in. Once that's in, you can put the bracket back onto the body. Again, grab your 4 screws. If you have a split nose screwdriver, it can save you a bit of hassle. That way they don't go running off. And just like the manifold, you can just screw these down so they're in, and then tighten them down once all the screws are into the body. Because again, this is just a support piece to keep the solenoid snug against the body and to reinforce it against being pulled off in the event of somebody tripping over a cable during commissioning. Now that the solenoid is firmly affixed to the CHOREOSWITCH, it's also recommended take an opportunity to check on the inside of the body, because you want to make sure there's no debris in there as well. So check the filter screen, make sure that it's clean, make sure there's no debris lodged in the body. You already have the pool drain, might as well take the opportunity while you're there. Make sure the gasket is seated in the door, make sure that there is a gasket and there's no damage to it. Just lightly fit it back in. we go. Make sure it fits in the groove around. Just lightly pat it down. And just close it. Work the thumb screw back in. And just tighten it down. You may have to snug it up with just a pair of channel locks just to make sure that it stays closed. There we go. Nice and snug. Now you can swing back the this piece, and you're going to want to put in the old snorkel. The replacement piece will not come down with this. This is just plastic, so when you're tightening it up, be careful because you don't want to break it. And again, just spin it on. Do it mostly by hand, just because you don't want to break it. Be careful, don't grab it up here. Grab it near the base because you don't want to snap this off. And then you can just fit it in through the zip tie there. Screw on the snorkel cap. Make sure it's not coming off. Now it's back to the body. When it comes to wiring it back in, you have your 16.3 STW jacket or SOO jacket. For use of this one, use the EGS 052 cord seal. It's a brass cord seal, comes with a brass nut, washer, and rubber grommet. Depending on your installation, you may not need the body, but you're definitely going to need the other pieces to make sure that it snugs back into your junction box. Make sure you do this before you fit everything in. Fit over your nut, fit over your washer, fit on the grommet. You can use a little water or liquid soap if needed to kind of lubricate this on. Make sure it goes in, because it'll fit like that. And then when you're tightening it back into the junction box, you'll be able to get it started. It's a very snug fit. And once you get it started, then you can snug it up with a 13/16 wrench. For the 18.5, for the DMX version, there's the EGS 053. It's recommended to replace this from the junction box. It's all one piece, or two pieces. The gasket is captured, so just make sure that when you push the cable into this, that you don't accidentally unseat this gasket, the grommet on the inside, because if you do, you'll compromise your seal. So again, just like the other one, fit your cap over first. And then you can feed this into your junction box body. Firm this up. You'll hear it click. You can firm it up by hand. And then just finish it off with the adjustable wrench. You don't have to, it can very easily bottom out. It's not required, but take it at least 2 rotations to make sure you have a good fit. And that's all that's needed to replace the solenoid from the cable. Just a few simple hand tools and just a little bit of time.